Hi, everybody. I'm Debbie Belaus with Feel Good Qigong, and we are in our spring protocol season. I teach seasonally. It's one way of teaching Qigong, and I love teaching seasonally because every season has a new message for us to contemplate and to get that information naturally. So the season of spring is usually always about growth, rebirth, emerging from the soil. So a lot of that energy is out. So I did 3 other videos, an introduction to what spring protocol is about. I did the beginning. Stretching is very important this season for, until when the weather starts to get a little bit warmer. You want to really start stretching your body. So I have a little video on stretching. And then you also want to start adding some muscle tone, especially to the legs. So this is 8 pieces of brocade, and it is about 1,000 years old. That's what I love about this. It's such a long lineage of information. And it was developed by a Chinese general, and he used this protocol to keep his soldiers strong and engaged. And a lot of the names of the movements are horse riding stance, is what we worked on last time, because that's how they fought. They fought on a horse. So it wasn't just about their strength, but also to keep them, engaged, to keep their energy up, to keep their spirits, up. Also, they learned how to focus. There's a lot of focusing involved with these movements as well, and I talk about that a lot. I keep bringing that up for really focusing on a point, not just such a straight point, but you want to have soft gaze in the eye so you can see peripherally around you. So when you think about it, if you're on a horse and you're riding and you're shooting an arrow or just riding the horse, you want to be able to see who's around you. So in today's society, we want to still have that sense of being able to see what's all around you with the soft gaze, seeing peripherally what's around you, not just, we're very linear, we just look forward, we're not looking around too much during our day, but we don't want that. We want to be able to engage in everything, around us, just for our own protection, just to see kind of what's coming. Especially if you have kids, you need to be able to keep an eye on a lot of different things. But if you're too tense, it's going to be harder to do that. So we try to keep more of a soft gaze. But before you start this particular routine, you want to be warmed up in some sort of way. So if you go out for a walk and then you come in, do some stretching. You could do my little video on stretching before we get into this 8 pieces of brocade. So we're going to start with some 8 pieces of brocade. Also does some stretching as well. So we're going to start with that. This is called King Draws Its Sword. So we're going to take your right arm behind you. King draws its sword. So it's like they're taking the sword out of their, the bag that might be in back of them. And so your left hand's in back, your back of your head, the right hand's behind you. And then you take a breath in, and then as you exhale, turn your gaze over to the right as that left arm elbow comes back a little bit. So you're getting a nice stretch here in the neck. And then we'll come to the other side. King draws its sword, and you take the gaze over to your left for the other side. Now there's another stage to this. King draws its sword, looking over to your right. This time you're going to look down at your right foot. So you're getting a nice side stretch here on the left side. You're going to look up at the ceiling, and now you're getting a nice stretch on the right side of your body. And then from here, soft knees, and you're going to twist as far as you can comfortably towards the back, and then back to center. And then again, King draws its sword, pressing both elbows back, turning your gaze to the left, getting a nice stretch in the neck. Then you're going to turn your gaze, look down at your left foot, and get a nice stretch on the right side of your body. You're going to look up at the ceiling as you're getting a nice stretch on the left side of your body. Soften the knee slightly, and then twist over towards the back, towards your left. So we'll do this again. Inhale, King draws its sword. We're gazing over to the right. You're going to look down at your right foot. You're going to gaze up towards the ceiling, and then slowly twist towards the back, towards your right side, and then back to center. Inhale, King draws its sword, looking over towards your left, looking down at your left foot, looking up at the ceiling, and then coming back to center. And then there's a little bit of a twist here. So that's a nice little stretch for the neck, for the neck and the head especially. We're going to do cat gazes at the moon. So we're going to bend our knees, holding onto your thighs. Inhale, you arch the back. So here's a nice stretch for the spine. As you exhale, you round the spine, chin to chest, and then inhale again, arch the back. And then you're going to take your right elbow as it turns towards your left knee for a nice twist here. So here's another twisting flexion. We come back to center, round the spine, inhaling, looking up as you exhale, taking your left shoulder towards your right knee. So cat gazes at the moon. One more time, inhaling, arch the back, exhale, round the spine, inhaling, arching the back, taking your right shoulder towards your left knee, cat gazes at the moon. It's a nice twist. And then as you inhale again, arch the back, exhale, round the spine, and then inhale again, arching the back and taking your left shoulder over towards your right knee. And then you can just hang here if you want to shake out the head and the neck, and then slowly roll up one vertebrae at a time. Holding up the heavens, interlace the fingers, drop them down. You're going to lift them up, come up onto your toes. So we get a really nice stretch here for the whole body, really. Dropping the heels over to your left side for that side stretch. So these are some nice stretches to do for this part of the 8 pieces of brocade. You get a little bit of stretching and also engaging some of the larger muscle groups, and then release. Separating heaven and earth, left hand on top, right on the bottom. Turn the ball, press your right arm down, the left arm comes up. You can come up onto the toes again if you like, getting a nice stretch here. Remember, always thinking about stretching the body. Back to the ball, turn the ball, pressing that left arm down, right arm comes up, really stretch those fingers, come up onto the toes again, release, we'll come back again, coming back to the ball, turn the ball, separating heaven and earth, up onto the toes, and then release. We'll do the other side again, separating heaven and earth, up you go, release, and then back to center. Let's come into the horse riding stance, which I've talked about. So we're taking our feet or toes out, then take the heels in, toes out, heels in, toes out, heels in. So it takes a little bit of time to get a good horse riding stance. And if you refer back to my other video, I explain in a little bit more detail about the horse riding stance. But the main thing is that you want to be able to see your toes. You don't want to collapse in the knees here. You want to be able to see your toes, and the weight's on the heels for horse stance. This helps to protect your knees as well. And it gives you a stronger platform to stand in horse riding stance. And then we're just going to take the palms of the hands together, and you just hold them here. And it's a soft gaze. You could look at the fingers with a soft gaze, and that means just relaxing the forehead, relaxing the eyes, and breathing. And we'll stay here for a count of 30. So we want to activate these thigh muscles especially. So we'll stay for 30 seconds. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, and 30. Inhale, rise up, palms of the hands come together, and then we slide down again. You're going to make fists with the hands. Thumbs are on the outside of the fingers. So we have fists. We're going to have the left fist facing down and the right fist right underneath it. And then you turn, and then this is called scrubbing liver 14, and then you bend the knees. We come up, we turn, scrub liver 14, and bend the knees. So this is called King Rises Horse with Fiery Eyes. So it's another focusing. So you're going to look past that third knuckle in front of you with soft eyes. We rise up, turn, cross, and scrub, and bend. Rise up, turn, cross, scrub the liver, and bend. And again, you're just soft eyes looking past the knuckles as you go ride the horse with fiery eyes. So of course, if you were riding your horse and you're, in a battle, you're going to want to keep your peripheral vision, like I had said before, being able to see, pretty much all around you as you're focusing at the same time. So there is that balance between the focus and being able to soften so you can see all around you. So we're doing a couple of things here. This is also, good for coordination. It's strengthening those thigh muscles, those knee muscles. You're able to, again, focus on a particular point in front of you. And you're also scrubbing liver 14, which is your liver meridian. If you don't know the meridians, that's a whole nother subject. But this is what this particular pieces of a brocade is about. So this could be your first introduction to a protocol of 8 pieces of brocade. It's a pretty famous one in the practice of Qigong. And again, these practices all have meaning to them, and just seeing them and practicing one time, just kind of gives you a little introduction to this particular practice of Qigong. There's so much to it. There's so many different practices to it. It's just kind of getting an idea of what this is all about, what energy cultivation is about. We're going to do another one. It's called pull the bow to shoot the arrow. So same thing. We inhale, palms of the hands come together, slide down, bending those knees, palms of the hands are together. You're going to turn your upper body towards the left, taking the right arm, and you push the bow. And then we're going to pull the arrow. So you grab the arrow, pull the arrow. So we're pulling and we're pushing, just like ligaments and tendons need to be stretched. Release the arrow and then release and come back up. Sliding down, turn the upper body to your left, pushing with your left arm, pulling that arrow with your right, push and pull, release the arrow, and then come up. So just imagine you're on a horse, and now you're pushing the bow and pulling the arrow and releasing the arrow and come up. So a nice visual would be not so much that you're in battle, but just maybe being able to ride on a horse and release an arrow and back up and then return. We're going to do one more to end this. We're going to take our hands and rub them together. You're going to bring the palms of the hands to the back of your kidneys, give them a nice rub. And then we're going to jump up and down 10 times. This is called King jumps for 10,000, releasing 10,000 diseases. So we're releasing some stagnation with this. So 1, and we lift up on the toes, drop the heels, lift up, drop the heels. This is 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And then we'll inhale. Let's gather this protocol, this 8 pieces of a brocade, or introduction to 8 pieces of brocade, and just noticing how you feel. So that's a nice little routine that you can do on a daily basis, just to get a little bit of stretching, a little bit of getting some muscle strengthening in the body. And if you did it every day, you'll get used to it, and then you keep adding on to it. Thank you for joining me. I hope you have a wonderful spring day. Namaste.